Hi, welcome to COS 412, 412. Let me get a share screen going here. So in 412, we're going to explore topics in game programming that we didn't cover in 312. These are topics of your choosing. You get to pick your own topic here. We'll meet at regular class times where each of you will give a weekly report. These progress reports don't have to be very long, maybe 5 minutes or so. But I want to keep people working on these different projects. So regular work on a regular basis. Don't leave this class to the end. In your report, you want to communicate details of your topic to the others, kind of keeping them up to date. A very appropriate way to give your report is to run a demo of your game that shows the progress that you've made. I also expect non-presenters to participate in the discussion, asking questions, making suggestions. And I do keep track of both presentation and participation, and they contribute to the grade. Since weekly reports are required, attendance is mandatory and will be recorded and count towards the grade. Our first assignment is a proposal that defines the topic that you're going to pursue. This is due this Sunday, January 31. And you'll hand it in on Brightspace. This should include a description of your topic as well as where you anticipate finding material. So some research has to be done. There's tons of stuff on the internet. I'll show you some links later. There's a written report due every 2 weeks thereafter. So again, Sunday by midnight, progress reports. Reports not handed in on time lose some points. I do accept them late, but I don't accept them more than 2 weeks late, since by then the next report is due. So you can't let these lag too much. Written reports should be sufficiently detailed that another person in class could replicate the work. Think of these reports as a manual that someone could follow if they wanted to implement your tool. Specifically, the report should include the sources for your material, URLs of websites, citation references, written or published material, and so forth, as well as problems encountered, and importantly, how you overcame those problems. Examples, of course, are things like using pre-Unity 2.17 tutorials, broken shaders, all this kind of stuff. I have a sample of a progress report that I particularly liked here. And so this guy was doing a 2D dungeon crawler game. He says he found an article by somebody. He provided the URL for the link. And then he starts talking about what he did the first week here, or first 2 weeks. Created a floor generator, programmed the generator, so work is completed. He had presented it in class, and various things were pointed out to him. It wasn't random enough, so he fixed this, he improved it. At this point, he ran into a big problem. There was something wrong with the generators. He created a density variable that fixed it so that it was more random. But at this point, he runs into a big problem. His database has become too large and complicated, wasn't well planned. He went back and learned that he should have planned the thing out better. So he's made progress here. He's acquired wisdom, things that he could have avoided if he'd done it more carefully from the beginning. He, uh, he's attached the project folder for me to look at in his homework submission. So the report also has a sample of the game. Uh, he warns me that, of course, it's still buggy. And finally, he talks about what he's going to do in the future, what comes next, generating 3D games things. So this is an example of the first progress report that this guy turned in, and things progressed well as things went along. So, uh, the report's sufficiently detailed to replicate work, problems, sources, these kind of things all have to be in the report. Hopefully at the end of the semester, we'll have a demo day. Before that final week of classes, I need to see a draft of the game. This is not the final submission, but a draft. And we'll see, depending on the state of things, whether it's in person or online. Your final submission is due the day of the final exam, probably the end of final exam week. Here's a schedule of the submissions, the various progress reports, the demo day draft, and the final report and game. And the final report is a little different than the progress reports. The final report should describe how well you did in achieving that initial goal that you laid out in your proposal, where you found all the different resources that were your reference material, how the project evolved as you worked on it, why you gave up on some of your original goals, what was the hardest part, how you would do it differently, and anything else that you'd like to tell me about your advanced topic experience. Here's a whole list of links to various places that I've found that have interesting material. Some of them from Unity, the 3D game kit, the 2D game kit, tower defense template, procedural cave generation. Unity Technology has a GitHub that has a lot of cutting edge stuff. Some works, some doesn't. CG Cookie, which has some free content. Quill Creates YouTube channel that has a lot of stuff. I forget who this guy is. Cat-like Coding is a good one. Bracky's has some really high-level multiplayer stuff, rewinding time, procedural terrain, and much, much more. And he has a GitHub, so a lot of the code is provided for you. So all of these are potential places that you can look, and I'm sure there are more. So I expect you to explore. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and we'll talk further in class when we talk about your proposals. So I'll stop recording here, and I'll see you all in class.